Yeah, and I mean, I think you take net income for example. We did 1.2 billion in net income, and this, if you were to exclude foreign exchange, that's up more than 60% year over year. So I think the lesson here is the bigger we get, the more scale we get, the more operating leverage we get, and we've stayed disciplined. Jim, you know this, but we had a really difficult 2020, and we had to pull back a lot of expenses. We got really disciplined. And when the economy was going very well, we did not forget the lessons from the pandemic, and we've stayed disciplined. We will remain disciplined.
Well, what I'm excited for you, Brian, is that you have a ton of money in the bank. I mean, you bought back a lot of stock. You probably have more money in the bank than any of the companies that started during your period. And you never really hired everybody back. You can now get the pick of people. I imagine that there are great engineers, great software people who want to work for you, and you're really the only game in town because everybody else is laying off.
Yeah, I mean, we are staying very aggressive with hiring, but not absolute numbers of people, because we've learned from the pandemic that actually fewer people allow us not only to be more profitable, but allow us to move faster, be more nimble, and we can actually innovate faster. So what we're really focused on is hiring the very best people in the world, and we have a pretty flexible work policy, and that means that regardless of where people live, they can work for Airbnb. And so we're getting a lot of inbound. After we made our remote policy update, we had hundreds of thousands of applications coming to Airbnb. So we're going to stay pretty aggressive about bringing talent in. But in the beginning of the year, Jim, before the economy took a turn for the worse, we were still only preparing to hire 7 to 8% more employees. So the basic principle I had is whether it's a recession or a good economy, we're not going to run the company that differently. We're going to stay incredibly disciplined, and that discipline will allow us to innovate very quickly.
Don't miss a second of Mad Money. Follow @JimCramer on Twitter. Have a question? Tweet Cramer. #MadTweets. Send Jim an email to madmoney@cnbc.com or give us a call at 1-800-743-CNBC. Miss something? Head to madmoney.cnbc.com.